Welcome back everybody to Property Couple. My name is AK and with my wife Lia we talk about property, business and working together as a couple. Today we're going to be talking about behind our business. And for those of you that did not hear that, that was silent investors behind our business. Now the truth is our investors are not interested in being landlords or property owners. In fact, they steer clear of buying property themselves and they much prefer to be hands off, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Now as much as we love property, it can be a total pain in the arse, and more importantly, it isn't for everybody. Most of our investors share these same concerns when it comes to property investing. Number one, liquidity. One of the significant drawbacks of investing in property is its limited liquidity compared to other investment options such as stocks or shares. Number two, it's very capital intensive. Unlike something such as stocks or shares, unfortunately, you do need significant pots of cash to get into property, especially if you are doing large refurbs or strategies such as HMOs that you've seen in many of our other videos. Number three, tenants. And despite your due diligence in vetting prospective renters, you could wind up with tenants who are far from ideal. And now with the whole Section 21 abolishment and that type of legislation that's coming in, it doesn't seem like this will be any less of a concern. Number three, interest rates. Not only does property have costs like insurance, council tax, maintenance repairs, management costs, then of course you've got all of your mortgage repayments and the interest that you need to pay on them. And we've seen recently in the last year or so just how this can majorly affect profits. These are just some of the downsides to property investing, but you can see why it may not be for everybody. If you are able to create a safe, profitable tool for somebody to grow their money that can be relatively liquid and also not succumb to the negatives that we've just discussed, then, and that really is the key to create a win-win situation, as cringy as that may sound. Now the main question that we get is, well, if I'm investing in Property Couple but I don't own the asset because this isn't a joint venture, then where is my security? Now there's tons of ways that we can offer security for our investors. Number one, restriction on title. What this basically means is we can't get a mortgage or sell a property without an investor's consent. It's a way of guaranteeing that level of control. Now this is deal specific, and we usually do this on bigger projects such as the care home conversion to a large HMO that you've seen on our channel. Now the most common charge that you see on a title deed is normally from bank lenders who essentially have a legal interest in the property. So if the property gets sold, then they get paid any outstanding debt if the borrower, in this case us, isn't able to do that. Number two, personal guarantees. What this means is if my business does not pay you, you can come after me personally. But it's helpful for our investors to know that if they loan our business, say £50,000, and for any reason we are unable to pay them back, then we would personally be liable to pay that debt from our own funds. Essentially, there can be a lot of headache with property. And we don't go into it all the time on this channel because we signed up to build this property business. And for us, there is absolutely no backing out of it now. But for our investors, do they want to be responsible for the ongoing maintenance and the upkeep of properties? No. Do they want to read through hundreds of pages of HMO legislation? No. Do they want to go through planning permission, dealing with Article 4 areas, working with a build team and keeping on top of all those schedules of work? Do they want to go through fire safety assessments, gas and electricity certificates? A tenant will pay an agent to do it? No. I could go on. Essentially, all of those things are something that our investors do not want. I remember one person saying to me like a while back, somebody that I used to work with, she's built a big property portfolio, and I remember her saying to me, my aim is to get to a position where I become an angel investor and I stop investing in property. And I honestly remember looking at her and thinking, why would you do that? But as time goes on and as we understand more about property investing and we see the reality of it, I don't think I'm ever going to regret building a property portfolio, but I totally understand why somebody would not want to deal with all of the headache and all of the negatives that come with it. Don't get me wrong, there are tons of positives, but there are a lot of negatives as well when it comes to property investing. And I think the interesting thing becomes about, what is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? Because a lot of people start off, they go into this and they go, I want to build a property portfolio, I want to buy property. But actually, why do you want to buy property? So somebody might be trying to achieve income that's coming in every single month. Is property the only way to do that? Absolutely not. Some people might want to build generational wealth, and therefore that's why they're purchasing property. I think it's just about being really clear on what you are trying to achieve and understanding the limitations to maybe what you're trying to achieve as well. So essentially, for ourselves, we made the decision to build a property portfolio originally to get me out of a job because I was deeply unhappy in that job. But I think what I've realised now is we've created another job for ourselves, which is fine. But if your goal is to essentially not have a second job, you might want to consider hands-off investment, where other people such as ourselves do all of the work and you get a return on your funds. So our investors are people that want to be a little bit more liquid with their capital. They want to make a return without having any of the downsides of property, such as the maintenance and the management fees and the interest rates and all of that type of thing. And they want to make more than they'd make in the bank. And they want it to be safer and more stable than something like stocks and shares that kind of can fluctuate quite a bit. They mainly want a return, which is fine, and that makes complete sense. But they don't necessarily understand everything that comes with buying and refurbishing and owning a property. So the way we've built our business is by utilising silent investors, the funds that they have, giving them good returns without the headache of property. And that's something that we have taken on. We have taken on the management, the maintenance, the build team, the project management, all of that sort of stuff in order to give people a good return. So many people come to me with £50,000 they've got in their account, and the question is like, I've got £50,000, I want to get into property. You can absolutely get into property. You can go and put a deposit down and buy a house on a mortgage, for example. But I think what a lot of people don't necessarily understand is, how are you then going to scale that portfolio? You could go out and buy a property. You need a lot of capital up front to build something substantial. If you're looking at your options, you could put it into a bank account. So that's an option. You can put it into stocks and shares. Again, you don't really know if it's going to go up, it's going to go down. You don't really know sort of what returns you can get. You can put it into crypto. Again, really volatile at the moment, so up to you. Or you could look at something that we offer our investors, which is anywhere between 5 and 10%, depending on the amount, depending on the term, those types of things. So it's about understanding the options that you've got available to you and maybe what the best outcome is for you. We essentially bring the knowledge, the education, and the deals and all of that sort of physical stuff matched with people's capital that don't want to do all of that stuff. If you're watching this and you're thinking, do you know what? That is what I want. That's what I've been looking for. Then click on the link in the description, invest with us, and Lia and I will be in touch with you to discuss further. If you haven't already, please remember to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button for more videos like this every single week, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.